Happy Saturday. How you doing? I want to talk to you today about how to experience the power of God's favor. Favor has power, incredible power. I'm going to show you the exact power that is in God's favor, that I don't think anybody else has ever seen this. You're going to know something that very few people know about favor. Say this with me. The rest of my life is the best of my life. The best of my life is the rest of my life. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am smart, getting smarter every day. I am extremely talented. I am healed by the stripes of Jesus. I am made rich by the poverty of Jesus. Great things are coming my way. Everything always works out for me. I am a wonderful person. Pastor Jim is a wonderful pastor. Pastor Jim is the ultimate pastor because he gets results and he's available. I'm always available to our prayer partners. The only thing I require is that you watch the videos. If you watch the videos, you can call me anytime. And I'll get your prayers answered for you because I know how to do that. Amen. I can get results. We get people healed, some of them off their deathbeds. If you know anybody who is sick or broke, please have them call me. Call Pastor Jim. Everybody in the country should know that there are miracles at the end of that phone. Miracles on your cell phone when you call that number. Financial miracles, healing miracles, marriage miracles, relationship miracles, finding a spouse miracles, finding a new job miracles, getting out of legal situations miracles. We've had a bunch of those happen where people have literally gotten out of impossible legal court situations. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of God's favor. Favor is a spiritual gift. It can be imparted by somebody who has it and who has the faith to impart it. Paul said to the Romans, he said, I long to see you that I may impart spiritual gifts to you. Spiritual gifts are meant to help you in life. And there are very few things that help you more than the blessing of the Lord and the gift of favor. Those two things. And that's what I concentrate on. Healing, the blessing, financial favor. Financial favor will make you rich. Amen. It causes you to buy a house for half of what it's worth. Cause you to buy an airplane for half of what it's worth. Cause everything to work out for you. Huh? Make sure you call me today when you do your offerings and donations. Some of you did your offerings and donations yesterday because yesterday was offering day. Friday is offering day. Although a lot of people do their offerings other days, which is fine. Especially Monday, because Monday is blessing day. Monday is the day you call to receive your weekly blessing. If you don't have a church where the pastor can speak this blessing over you in faith, then you need to call me to speak it over you. If you're a partner with this ministry, amen? And especially when you do your tithes, because a lot of people tithe to this ministry because the blessing and the tithe go together. And so they tithe here. And some of them even go to other churches and they tithe here because the blessing is spoken here. And that's so important. I would not tithe anywhere where I was not being blessed. Amen. I want to show you something here And make sure you share this video. I want to show you something here. In Exodus chapter 12, verse 35 and 36. The children of Israel are getting ready to leave Egypt. They've been there in bondage for 400 years. They're broke. They've been in bondage. They're slaves. But they're getting ready to leave now, about 3 million of them. And it says, and Moses told the people to go around to Egypt, to all of Egypt, before you leave, and take everything they have. Just go up to their doors and ask them for all their gold, all their silver, and all their nice clothes. Don't steal their stuff. Ask them for it. Now, what would you think if somebody came to your house and asked you for money? You might give them some, but would you give them all to them? Would you give them all the silver and gold that you have? Of course, we don't keep silver and gold in our house. We keep a little bit of cash. We keep a little bit of cash in case the banks would shut down for a day or two. We keep a little bit of cash so we can go to the store. We have nice clothes, but our clothes aren't all made out of silk. Now this shirt, this is my Stanford shirt. I wear it on Saturday because Saturday's football day. And Stanford's not doing very good this year. But Moses told the children of Israel, go around and ask Egypt for everything they have of value. It says, and the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they went and took everything that Egypt had, jewels of silver and jewels of gold and beautiful clothes. They took it all. They literally walked up to the doors of the people's houses and said, let me have your gold and your silver and your nice clothes. And the people gave it to them. All the people of Egypt gave the gold and silver and nice clothes to the children of Israel. Now, why did they do that? Well, in the next verse, it tells you why. It says, and the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so they gave them whatever they asked for. Now, if you go around to your entire neighborhood and you ask, can I have all your money? Now, you're not robbing them. You're just asking them. Somebody might give it to you. But how about all of the houses? Would all of the houses give you all of their money? I'm thinking probably not. But if God gave you favor, if you were experiencing the favor of God. Now, I'm not telling you to believe for God's favor that you can go around and plunder your neighborhood. I'm telling you to believe for God's favor so that you get preferential treatment. Favor is also preferential treatment. Joseph went down into Egypt with two things. He went down there with the blessing of Abraham upon him, and he went down there with his father's favor. Now, he had favor because Jacob gave him a coat of many colors, which was a sign that he was the favorite son of the 12 sons of Jacob, who formed the 12 tribes. But Joseph was the favorite, and Jacob gave him a coat of many colors to show the favoritism. That was a coat of favor, that coat of many colors. Now, I want you to see something. The children of Israel now in Deuteronomy are getting ready to go into the promised land. Deuteronomy is the last chapter before they go into the promised land. And God is telling those people, don't forget about me when you go into the promised land. Remember me. Because, he says in verse 8, he says, but, right here he says, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he who gives thee power to get wealth. Now, think about this. Where did their wealth come from? It came from one place. It came from the night that they took everything from Egypt. That's where all their gold and their silver and their nice clothes came from. And they still had all this. 40 years later, they had all this gold and all this silver that they had taken from Egypt. They carried all the wealth out of Egypt when they left, because God had given them favor. They didn't have to fight and kill people for it. They just gave it to them because of extreme favor, because of this. And God says, thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he who gives thee power to get wealth. The power to get wealth is actually the force of favor. Favor from God is a power to get wealth. Now you pursue favor from God, and you will have the power to get wealth. Favor caused us to buy this house right before the prices started to skyrocket. I don't even want to tell you what we paid for this house. I'll tell you what it's worth now. It's worth $850,000 to $900,000. I don't want to tell you what we paid for it. I'll tell you what we paid for it 3 years ago. A little over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. In 2020, February, end of February, 1st of March, we paid $315,000 for this house. It's tripled in value in 3 years because we bought it just before the prices skyrocketed. That is the force of God's favor. And even then they sold it for less than market value. Way below the market value, because they thought there was a problem with the plumbing, which there was not. We bought an airplane for about half of what it was worth because we ran into somebody who had to sell one. And he happened to be right here in Melbourne. The airplane was sitting over at the airport. Everything always works out for us because of God's favor. And that favor is the power to accumulate wealth. God tells these people, when you go into the promised land, don't you dare forget where you got it, because it was me who gave you the power to get wealth. And what he gave them, that power to get wealth, was the force of God's favor the night they took everything from Egypt. The power to get wealth is the favor of the Lord. And the favor of the Lord causes you to have the power to get wealth. Those two are together. They're one and the same. I've never seen anybody else ever make that connection. You call me, I will impart the power of God's wealth and God's favor over you. And you will be amazed at what happens.